This woman went missing on the 25th of August 2023. 2 weeks later, her decomposing body was found in a pit toilet in the home of a client. 29-year-old Jennifer Mwende was said to be a hairdresser who lived in Machakos County, Kenya. She worked in a salon and she was also a mother of a little child. Somewhere around the 25th of August 2023, she got a phone call from a client requesting a hairdressing service at her home. And this was good business. Since she was leaving her salon and going to the client's house to render her services, this was going to be good money. She excused herself from work and went to the client's house to do the job she was called for. However, this would be the last time anyone would see her alive. After Jennifer Mwende went to the client's house to render her services, her phone suddenly was switched off. Her loved ones, her family, her co-workers could not even get to her. Even on that said day, they knew something was up when she did not pick up her child from school. And she didn't even show back at her workplace in the salon. This was confusing to her family, this was confusing to her friends, and for a while they kept thinking she would most likely come back. But it was not in her nature to just zoom out like that or disappear, or at least not even cater for her child before she left. Obviously, they knew something was up, and they knew that Jennifer was most likely in danger, and they weren't wrong. Surprisingly, it would take 4 days for her family members to file an official missing person report. Maybe if they had done it earlier, she could have been found. Well, it depends. On the 29th of August 2023, 4 days after she had gone missing, her older brother went to the police and filed a missing person report, saying that she had not been seen or heard from, and that she went missing after getting a call from a client who requested home service. And instantly, the Kenyan police launched an investigation into her disappearance. And that was when they found out that her disappearance was no ordinary one, and that the call she got requesting a home service might have been the call of death. The interesting thing is that Jennifer worked in a salon. And so this sort of made it easy for the police to do their job. When they began their investigation, they started asking questions around to people who knew Jennifer, asking them what could have happened to her or where she could have gone, or if they knew anyone that wanted to hurt her. And one thing about a salon is that is where all the hot gossips takes place. You all know that if you want to get the latest gist in a community, in a town, in a village, just go to the salon. That is how you're going to know whose husband slept with whose wife, or whose wife is cheating on their husband. And when the police began their questioning, words started going around. People started spilling. The gist that has been a topic of discussion at some point became the clue that was going to help the police solve this case. It was soon revealed that Jennifer was being threatened by a woman named Phyllis Nzula, and that Phyllis was threatening Jennifer over a married man named Januaris. And the threat was just as recent as around the time that she had disappeared. According to the detail, it turned out that Jennifer and this so-called Phyllis were both sleeping with a married man named Januaris. Pretty much they were both having an affair with this man who already had a wife. But for some reason, it was bad enough that Phyllis was sharing Januaris with his wife, and now she has to share him with another side chick. So this is two side chicks in question fighting over a married man. But a few days before Jennifer went missing, it was revealed that Phyllis had come to threaten her to stay away from Januaris. And this was the first clue that the police just needed. This was pretty much all they needed. After hearing this gist, they were able to understand that this could be a case of a love triangle gone wrong. But before they could proceed into making an arrest, Jennifer's caretaker also revealed to the police another important detail, which went from a love triangle to a love rectangle, or maybe a love hexagon, because apparently there were most likely 5 people involved in this chaos. The caretaker of Jennifer's apartment revealed to the police that a few days before she went missing, 2 women had come to ask of her. In fact, the women had come twice in 3 days, asking after Jennifer, asking where she was, and asking that they needed to speak with her. But both times Jennifer was not around. I guess that was when they realized or learned or understood that Jennifer usually rendered home services to clients. That was around the 22nd and 24th, few days before Jennifer went missing on the 25th, most likely the next day. However, this whole story made sense to the police and they knew who they were looking for. The first person they went to was Phyllis. Phyllis apparently was the one mentioned more in the information that they got, and so she became their number 1 suspect. However, they could not find Phyllis. When they went to Phyllis's home, they could not see her. They didn't know where she was. She wasn't around and hadn't been around for a while. And so they went to the man directly, the man that all of these women were most likely connected to, Mr. Januaris Mosau. Januaris was taken into custody by the police, but not just him. His wife, Evelyn Wanza, was also taken. Since Januaris was the main point of all of this drama, he was questioned and, he was interrogated. It's not clear how the interrogation went, but when Januaris and Evelyn were taken into the police custody, it did not take long for Januaris to be released. However, his wife, Evelyn Wanza, was retained. She wasn't released with her husband. She remained in custody. In fact, she became suspect too. And while the investigation continued, somehow, some way, it was said that Evelyn may have mentioned another woman called Faith Ntemba, who is now suspect 3. So Faith and Evelyn being in police custody, being interrogated about the whereabouts of Jennifer, it did not take long before the truth came out. And they both admitted to knowing where Jennifer was and knowing what had happened to Jennifer. In fact, they broke quickly. They didn't even make it complicated. They confessed that they had all connived or planned to get Jennifer, and somewhere in their plan to beat her and want her to stay away from Januaris, Jennifer was killed. During the interrogation still, the police were directed to where they would find Jennifer's body. First directed the police to the forest, and the police went to search. They couldn't see it. Eventually the truth came out, and maybe they weren't so sure where Jennifer's body was, because the plan was, after Jennifer had been killed, they were going to take her body to the forest. I'm very sure that Evelyn and Faith were most likely not aware where Jennifer's body would be. They probably told the police that Phyllis would be the one to know where Jennifer's body was, and that she was the mastermind of this whole tragedy. That could be why they first directed the police to the forest. But when the police did not see Jennifer's body in the forest, they gave the police the second option, which was the pit toilet in the compound where Phyllis and Faith lived as neighbors. And that was where the police went to search, and that was where they found Jennifer's body. 2 weeks later, already beginning decomposition in the pit latrine of her killer's home. After Jennifer's body was recovered, an autopsy was conducted, and it was revealed that she had died from strangulation. But the question is, why did these 3 women gang up to beat up and kill just Jennifer? Where there's a chance that 2 of them, or maybe 3 of them, were also involved with the same man. Apparently, this was a love triangle. More like a love square, because whereas Phyllis was having an affair with Januaris, who is Evelyn's husband, Jennifer also was still said to be having an affair with Januaris. Faith was most likely the only one in the group, or the only one in this chaos, that did not, or it wasn't said that she had anything to do with Januaris. Faith was only a neighbor to Phyllis. So why did these 3 women gang up to just get rid of one? Why did Evelyn gang up with one of the side chick to kill another side chick? What was her plan? How did this all come to be? Well, if you remember in the beginning when one of the caretakers told the police that 3 women had come to look for Jennifer a few days before she went missing, I want to assume the 3 women were Faith, Phyllis, and Evelyn. And we also know, or we also heard from maybe somebody from the saloon who told the police that Phyllis, one of the women, had directly threatened Jennifer to stay away from Januaris. Now, according to the first source, or the first line of story, they are claiming that Phyllis coming to warn Jennifer was not for her, that Phyllis was not having an affair with Januaris, and that she was only doing it for Evelyn, who is her friend, and that maybe Evelyn must have communicated to her that somebody is sleeping with her husband, and Phyllis found out, and she's like a woman who is against other women taking other people's husband, and so she went to confront Jennifer, who probably is the younger one of all of them, and they set it all up to beat Jennifer up, or maybe still kill her and get rid of her in total with the help of Faith. However, there's another story that is saying that Evelyn found out that Januaris was having an affair, and that when she did her search, she found out that the woman that her husband was having an affair with was Phyllis. And so Evelyn confronted Phyllis, warning Phyllis to stay away from her husband, Januaris. In that bid, it was said that Phyllis denied having an affair with Januaris and pointed fingers at the other side chick, Jennifer, and even went as far as making Evelyn a friend, assuring Evelyn that she is going to help Evelyn find the woman who is trying to ruin her home and deal with her. And I think that is where they became close. Phyllis, who is a side chick, partnered with the wife to get rid of another side chick. The only problem is, I think Phyllis convinced Evelyn that she was not the one having an affair with the husband. That was when maybe Evelyn trusted her and assumed that, okay, maybe she knew something and she knew the woman that her husband was truly having an affair with. Now, Faith is said to be the neighbor of Phyllis. And according to what is being said, Faith was the one who put the call through to call Jennifer to come, give them a home service for hairdressing. Because they had gone to Jennifer's house twice to look for her, maybe to beat her up or warn her publicly or embarrass her, but they never saw her there. So that was when they realized that Jennifer was running away from them or, avoiding them, and they decided to try another system, another form, another plan, where it was said that Faith was the one who called Jennifer on that day and requested home service. And when Jennifer came to Phyllis's house in the compound where Phyllis and Faith stayed, she was ambushed by these two women who cornered her, overpowered her, beat her up before eventually strangling her to death. Although it was revealed that Evelyn was not directly involved in the killing of Jennifer, but according to investigation, when Faith and Phyllis were beating up or setting up and even killing Jennifer, they called Evelyn and told her about it, and that Evelyn was aware of the whole plan. It is also possible that Evelyn was not aware that they were going to kill her, because according to investigations still and according to Faith, their plan was not exactly to kill her, that they only wanted to beat her up and warn her. However, they realized that the way they treated her or the way they beat her up or the way they messed her up was enough offense for Jennifer, if released or if let go, would go and involve the police. And that was when Phyllis decided that instead of her going to report to the police, it was best they kept her silent forever, which turned into them using a bed sheet to choke her and strangle her to death. But in that process, in the home or in the compound of Phyllis and Faith, Evelyn wasn't there. She was only put through in a call. And maybe she must have spoken directly to Jennifer, warning her to stay away from the man. So I think maybe if any of them have a chance of getting out of this, it could be Evelyn, if only she can prove, or if the other women can admit that she wasn't aware that they were going to kill her, that they only wanted to warn her. So she might get a slap in the wrist if it turns out that she did not know or she did not agree or she did not participate in the killing. But what if she knew that she had been killed and did not say anything? I think that would be another case on its own. So apparently maybe Evelyn might be in for a while. If she knew that Jennifer was already dead, then she didn't say anything. I think that also implicates her, even though she did not agree or plan or order them to kill her. They only just wanted to warn her. Well, that will be her and the court to decide. Apparently, throughout this whole investigation and when Faith and Evelyn were arrested, Phyllis had run away. The police did not find Phyllis right away. She was already making her movement out of the country because she knew that they were coming for her. It was just the two women that were being paraded, being taken to the police station, that is Faith and Evelyn. It took a while for the police to finally catch and arrest Phyllis, who they said was found at the border trying to leave Kenya. So she was caught and arrested, and she will be tried maybe separately, because I don't think they want to put all three of them together so that they don't get their story straight, because the two women are making it seem like Phyllis was the mastermind, which I don't doubt, because she's the one that thought to run away. But we'll have to wait to hear what Phyllis had to say, or what she has to say, because even though Faith and Evelyn had already admitted their role in everything, they pleaded not guilty in court and claimed that Phyllis was the one who did the killing all by herself and who also did the hiding of the body. Because if you remember, when Faith and Evelyn were being asked about Jennifer's body, they gave the police the wrong information. Because according to Faith, they thought or they assumed or their plan was when they finished dealing with Jennifer, they would take her to the forest and leave her there. So maybe Faith thought that was what was done. But when the police went to the forest or the bush where they described they didn't see anyone, that probably suspected that maybe Phyllis had thrown Jennifer into the pit toilet. And that was when they went there the second time to find her body. Now, even though I did say that Evelyn was called on phone when the two women were dealing with Jennifer in the house, some other sources also believe that Evelyn, after being called, came to Phyllis's house to join the women in beating and killing Jennifer, although there are sources that believe that Evelyn was not directly involved. So the case is not clear. It's still going to court. So we're yet to be sure of whether or not Evelyn directly participated in the killing of Jennifer. If she was present, or if she just spoke on the phone and ordered them and told them what to do. So we just have to see. It's also possible she came. I personally believe she actually came to the scene, because this is a woman that you've been looking for. This is a woman that you've gone to her house many times to look for her, to want her to stay away from your husband. So when you finally hear that she has been caught by these two other women, I don't think she'll want to stay on the phone. I'm sure she would want to come and, deal with her in person. But according to the news, the day that Jennifer was accosted or lured and set up, there was total blackout. So maybe that could be a reason for them to want to get rid of her body, but they were unable to move it. That could be a good reason why Evelyn would want to show up, since it was all pitch dark and they could easily do what they wanted to do. But the fact that these two women, Faith and Evelyn, are already pleading not guilty and pointing fingers at Phyllis, I would like to see how it plays out in court, because it seems like Faith and Evelyn have planned to get their story straight. That is the only way that they could get out of this, is if they throw one of them under the bus. And clearly Phyllis would be the one that they both would throw under the bus. If these two women can combine their storyline and find a way to make them, or corroborate their own lies in their involvement, they could probably get a lighter sentence as compared to Phyllis. If they can both convince the judge that Phyllis was the mastermind, that she did the killing all by herself and all of those beats, they may be able to get lesser sentences. But I doubt. The way these people were so involved in it, it's hard for them to get away with it. I don't see them getting away with it. And that is because even though they may not directly have killed Jennifer, since that is their claim, the fact that they knew Jennifer was dead is enough, evidence against them that they too were just as involved as Phyllis, even though Phyllis was the mastermind. It's just unfortunate that these women were all going through this trouble just because of a man who right now is most likely with another woman, who right now has moved on. His wife is going to go to jail. The other of his side chick is also going to be sentenced, while he is just at home chilling. Although it was said that Januaris will be a key witness during the trial, that he will be the one to explain his relationship with these women and explain what he had heard, if he heard his wife plan, and he'll be the one to say all of these things. And I think it will be tough for him, because right now the lady is dead. Is he going to want to twist the story to defend his wife, to keep his wife? Or is he going to do the story in a way where the lady who has been killed would get justice? So I can imagine his dilemma, and I can imagine what he might be going through, or what he would go through during this trial. Because everything he says, or everything he will say, could either go for or against his wife. And I don't think there's any, unless he's going to lie on the stand. But if he's going to be truthful, there's a chance that his wife, his own words would be the words that would put his wife behind bars for a long time. And to be honest, given the fact that he is cheating on his wife already, I don't think he wants his wife back. I think he's fine with his wife behind bars. Clearly he's a womanizer. So his wife going to prison for a long time will benefit him so much more than her being in his life. Because now he's going to move on to another group of women. It's just sad that 4 women have, messed up their lives just because of a man. What could it be? Was he rich, or was he just good in bed? Was he really worth it though? They said the trial will begin somewhere around November or December, or maybe next year, and that they also needed to test them for mental health. When the women were taken to court, the 2 of them claimed that they were sexually assaulted while in the prison by the guards and other prisoners. So the last we heard of this story is that they're going to go through some mental evaluation to see if they are able or capable to stand trial. I don't know why, but they look pretty able to me. They look good. They look fine. And I hope they stand the trial that they deserve. I don't see any of these 3 women getting away with it. I don't think any of them will be found not guilty. But you guys, let me know your thoughts. Let me know how you feel about the story. Do you think Evelyn has a chance if she wasn't directly involved in the killing, or Faith herself? Or do you think Phyllis will be the one to go all the way down for all of this? Do you think they will, or any of them will be free? Because to me, like I've said, I don't think so. But let me know your thoughts. And also let me know your thoughts about this whole chaos, especially with the husband. Do you think Januaris would take the stand to defend his wife, or do you think he would throw her under the bus? What would you do if you were the one? You guys let me know your thoughts. Let me know how you feel. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to our channel. You can also check out our page for more intriguing crime stories. Thank you guys for watching.